Hello there, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by for your daily Reiki micro session. This is considered a micro session because it's just a tiny little snip of Reiki. We're only going to do 5 minutes of Reiki, and then we'll follow that up with 5 minutes of questions where you can ask whatever's on your heart or on your mind. And I'll pull out my tarot cards and I'll use my psychic abilities and come up with some nice solid answers to help you move forward productively. But starting with the Reiki, so for those of you who don't know what you can use Reiki for, it is used for any number of things, typically good things only. It's not designed to be used for things that are working with the dark or on the dark side of things. So this is something that can be used to improve your relationships, to improve your physical health, to improve your financial health. If you have anxiety, this helps to relieve that. So, all kinds of good things that we can use Reiki for. If you have something specific in mind, feel free to go ahead and set your intention as you're receiving the Reiki for that. But for everybody else, I'm just going to set the intention for whatever will benefit each of you the most as individuals. So, let's just go ahead and get this Reiki started. All right, so it's 54 after the hour. That means we're going to be finishing up at 59 after the hour. Hello there, this is Anne, Ezra. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to see you all here. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Welcome to the other two people in the room that haven't said hi yet. We are glad you are here. Decius, remind me where you're coming to us from. Where are you geographically? I think you've told me before, but I have forgotten. San Francisco Bay Area. Okay. West Coast. Glad to have you here. Does anybody have questions about Reiki today? Dila, you were here last night. Welcome, welcome. Glad to see you again, my dear. How are you? So this is a great time while we're doing Reiki. If anybody has questions about Reiki, to throw them up in there. Happy to answer questions like that. La da 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 da. Happy Friday, everybody. It's Friday. Yesterday was feeling like the weekend to me. I'm not really sure why. Here where I am, the weather is beautiful, sunshiny. Temperature is always already 63 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to be a warm day here for us. Well, maybe not. It's already almost noon, so maybe not. It seems early to me. How's everybody else doing? No other questions about Reiki? No questions? Dusty in Saudi Arabia. Does that mean that it's windy and the dust is blowing around? Thank you, Ms. Ezra. I don't know if I could live in a totally dusty place. I don't like dusting. I don't like that activity. I put it off as long as I can. If I had to actually dust every week, I would just, let's just say I wouldn't be a happy camper. Showery in Qatar. We have weather all over the place. We have people from all over the place. I would imagine that it is. I would imagine that's hard on your electronics too. things like computers and tablets and such, and machinery. Cold weekend, possibly snow. We might get snow on Sunday. Looks like we are getting snow later on in the week, next week. By the way, if there's anybody in here from the Denver area, I'm going to be working at, for heaven's sake, doing in-person readings on Monday. Actually, Monday's moving forward, but this Monday's the first one. So I'd like to invite you, if you want to get a reading in person, that's the place to do it. La da 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 da. And I'm going to be in the Denver store. There's 2 stores. I won't be at Lakewood. I'll be in Denver on 44th. We have 1 more minute of Reiki. Any Reiki questions? Oh, I just got an email saying I'm now live on my channel. Oh, we're not into those kind of questions yet, Theseus. We have 1 more minute of Reiki. It is very exciting. I've filled in for them there before. I've come in and helped when they had psychic fairs and somebody couldn't make it, but and I filled in once just as for a regular reader on a regular day. But it's really nice to have a spot there. We've got 1 more minute, guys. We're going to respect the Reiki. Reiki is very powerful energy and it can do a lot of good for us. And so we're going to respect it. We're going to wait to ask the questions until after I've completed the Reiki. So any questions that you guys type in before Reiki's over, I pretty much it's just like I never saw them. So once the Reiki is over, then go ahead and put them in again. Candace, hello, hello, welcome. How are you and that bouncing baby doing? All right, we do have 5 minutes. Let's wrap up the Reiki. Now you guys can go ahead and throw your questions up in the window. The CS had that copied and pasted. Let me start my timer. La da da da. Okay. How does H feel about the CS? Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better now. I am fantastic, my dear. Silver Moon Tress, hello, hello, welcome. All right. This is one you tried to ask yesterday, Dela. I remember this. Okay, but I'm focusing. How does H feel about the CS? Okay, so what I'm going to tell you about feelings is that they are very transparent. What I'm telling you is going to be current as of this moment. 20 moments from now, it might be out of date because feelings are very fluid for people. But let's look at how does H feel about you? Well, interesting. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like H is not so much of a feeling person as much as they're a thinking person. And some people do process that way, air signs especially, or people with a lot of air in their charts. So what I have coming up is not what like anybody who's a water sign would recognize as a feeling type of word or a feeling type of energy. So I'm just going to tell you that right now. But what I have coming up is more what he is basing his decisions on, he or she. And so this is what they are, this is what they're thinking about basically and what they're basing their judgments on. So basically the first card that comes out for you is 7 of Earth. So they see you as somebody who you're somebody who has things that they want. You're somebody who is able to give them things that they want. In some relationships, that's sexual. In some relationships, it's financial. In some relationships, it's emotional. But generally, the way this card's coming up, I think that we're talking about more tangible things. So we're talking about probably more sexual or gifts or money itself, that type of thing. So he sees you as having things that he wants. The next thing that we have coming up, he sees that you are not very happy with him at all. And I think I'm really understating his perception of how you feel about him right now. And he's feeling like that you have decided that things are over between the two of you. Okay. So that's for Theseus. That's how H feels. Next is Dila. I hope I'm saying your name right, dear. Let's see. Dila wants to know, is it a good idea for her to study abroad in California? Spirit's never going to say what we should or should not do because we have free will. So I like to word the questions a little bit differently. I hope you don't mind, Dila. So I like to ask, is it a good idea? And just get some advice because, we're always the one making the decision anyway. Is it a good idea for Dila to study in California? California, yay. I would say that it's not, actually. Technically, this is a no. And then when I look at the details, this is still kind of a no. Very first card that comes up, 10 of water in reverse. You're not going to be happy there. 9 of fire, there are definitely going to be some things that go on there that are going to surprise you. Transformation in reverse, there are going to be some changes or some adjustments that you're going to need to make to actually cope or fit. I don't want to say fit in, but cope with the differences, the cultural differences. And I think that those are not things that they're not changes that you're willing to make. We've got a king of earth in reverse. This basically says that studying in California, it drains you financially, or whoever's supporting you, it drains them financially. And then we have a 9 of water showing up in reverse. And the 9 of water says that you're not feeling very happy or very fulfilled at all, like the opposite of that. You're feeling very frustrated and useless doing that. So studying in California. So I would look at this and I would say that's a big fat no. Not a good idea at all. Okay, Ezra. Should Ezra apply to get... So this is going to be the last question I answer for today. If those of you who have important questions that you would like me to answer that you don't want to wait until the next time you can catch me during the live, then I do have 1 and 2 question readings available on my website. Or if you want a longer reading, I have live personal readings available, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or 60 minutes. And if you check out my website, you can find out how to book one of those. All of that information, well, the website information is in the description box below. So Ezra's question is, should she apply to get her medical license in the end of May of 2021? Is that a good idea for her to do that? Justice, the 11 card, new beginning. I do associate this with science, so medical would certainly fall into that. So basically, Spirit is acknowledging, okay, I hear your question in a nutshell. Patience. Patience is what comes up here. That's literally the name of this card. This would be Temperance in any other deck, which still Temperance does imply patience many, many times. I think that this is a very direct application here, that you want to be patient with yourself to where you feel like you've got a good grip on the science of this first. Six of Fire in reverse. Six of Fire in reverse is going back to something. So I guess my question to you to be able to put this in context, Ezra, is I need to know, is this a retake? Is this a reapplication? Is this is this not the first time? Because depending on the context, that could mean a couple different things. So if this is the first time, then this card would tell me that you're going to have to go back. Okay, so this is basically saying this is your retake. So, okay, so even just with these first three cards here, I love this. This is beautiful. How Spirit communicates with us. So with the first three cards here, we're talking about the medical, talking about being patient. To me, this is being patient, waiting, studying until you feel like you've got a good grip on the medical, and then apply. So what's implied to me in these three cards is that you need to do some more studying. You need to get this stuff firmer inside of your mind. So you need to do some more studying before you go back. And the reason I'm saying, because technically these are yes cards, but my next two are no cards. And the reason I'm saying it's not time to go back yet, that you need to study more before you get back there and reapply, is because of my last two cards, which are coming up in reverse. You've got a King of Water and a King of Fire, which just means that you're not going to like the outcome if you go in there right now. In fact, you're going to be really angry about the outcome if you go in there right now. So I think the answer here is give yourself time to really study this some more and really focus with this patience. Patience, also aka temperance. This is really focusing. This is really, really focusing. So give yourself a chance to really get to know this material even more. I know it's tedious, but if you want to actually pass when you go back, I don't think you want to shoot for May 31st unless, or the end of May, unless you can really hunker down and double down and focus on getting that information deeply ingrained inside of you, whatever that takes, Ezra. Okay. So that's what I see. All right. So that was the last question. I do want to catch up with conversation before I leave, though. I was spot on. So basically, H has already told you all of this stuff, or you already know that somehow. Barbara Ratti, hello, hello, welcome. I hope I'm saying your name right. Glad to see you in the room. How are you, my dear? Yep, Silver's qualified to say if I'm good or not. She's had a reading or two with me. Thank you for that referral, Silver. Barbara, I don't pull cards anymore. I do have people actually ask me specific questions during the free time, but my timer's already gone off, so I'm not answering questions anymore. Oh, and I forgot to tell everybody, super chats are never necessary, never required, but always appreciated. I think of that a little bit late. The last 3 days, I haven't even said it at all, I don't think, till the very end. Let's see. I'm glad that it makes sense for you, Dila. Dila. I hope I'm saying your name right. You're quite welcome, Theseus. I'm on fire. Isn't there a song about that? She's on fire. Let's see. Oh, gotcha. Woo, you're dealing with a Gemini. You're a brave person, Theseus. They make my head spin. I'm a Scorpio. I like to have a plan. I like to have stability. Geminis are changing their minds about things so fast. I'm just always like behind the curveball. I'll be looking forward to it, Silver. You know that. I love to read. Oh, you're quite welcome, Ezra. Are you? Well, then maybe y'all can keep up with each other. Maybe that would be a good match. I have found that Geminis and Aquarius are kind of borderline. I can sometimes deal with Aquarius. It depends how much they change their minds, how quickly. And then Virgos I can't deal with because Virgos are too much. They're too stable for me. There's not enough impulsiveness there with a Virgo. So I'm somewhere in the middle of that range there. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for being here. Everybody, enjoy your weekend. Are you Aquarius? I went on a streak where I dated like 4 different Aquariuses in a row. It always starts out pretty good. Then I don't know what happens at the end. Peace out, everybody. If I don't see you here for a live between now and then, I'll see you all on the next video. Thank you very much for all of your kind support and for hanging out with me these few minutes every day. Time is precious, and I do appreciate that. And of course, I appreciate those of you who are buying readings, Reiki sessions, doing the super chats. You guys just make my life what I love for it to be. So thank you very much. Everyone have a fantastic weekend.